Did you start?
Yeah, this is Hangout on air. Yes, this is started. Okay, we are live. Okay, we have people joining us. I can't see the chats though. Where will I see the chats?
Open it maybe in a new window. Like minimize this Hangout 50-50 or something like that.
Hmm.
Or can you see the chats on phone?
I think so. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. All right. Okay. I think we are live. There are 7 people watching. All right, guys. Welcome everyone. We have Arnav right now with me. He is from InChained. He has a channel called InChain. He talks about the technology stuff and many other things. He has been interviewing a lot of Indian startups recently. So he's here to share a lot of information on those topics and overall his perspective on the ICOs and other things. So welcome, Anna. How are you?
Great, man. Great to be back again on your channel. I love talking to you.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and hopefully I can add value to your to the audience. And yeah, I would like to hear your opinion as well regarding what are your thoughts in the space. You have been in the space for quite a lot of time. So where do you see that the space is headed, and how do you see the culture in the Mumbai region and in other nearby areas? And how do you see that the normal general public, I think your perception for the, you are very closely connected to the normal person.
Mm.
I personally, I don't get to talk a lot of normal people who have basic doubts, but you are connected to the normal person people as well. So I think I would love to hear your opinion of where you see the things are headed in the future as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be connected because there is a lot which is happening into this space right now.
Yeah.
And it's good to find someone who understands the technology, who understands the thing and share information and share knowledge. And, that is how you can take the overall ecosystem to the next level, by
Yeah.
sharing what exactly is happening. And then you can come up with an idea as to what exactly is new. So, Arno, let us so I'm sure there are a few new people as well who have joined in the conversation, so who might not know you. Would you
Yeah.
like to give a little bit of introduction of what do you do in the space and what are the startups that you have been reading about and any ICOs that you're very excited about that you want to share? Just your thoughts, not an investment or financial advice,
Yeah,
as
sure.
always.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I have a computer science background, so I do code and all that stuff. So I look at things more from a technical aspect of things. So I am working on some blockchain products as well on Ethereum, and I am even associated with some projects helping out some people in the startup community, and helping them out in like making the connections to the right people, because I have a YouTube channel as well.
Right.
Um, through which I have a certain amount of brand as well. So that is what I'm doing right now. And my goal in the future is actually to make work on a blockchain product full time, and maybe do some services based things as well in blockchain products. So which I do currently as well with some like 2 3 guys. We work on some, like we help people in their POCs and all that stuff for businesses. Yeah, so that is what is my background, and I have a channel in which it initially started out as an educational channel in which I was talking about some basic things like what is gas and Ethereum, what is blockchain, what is an ICO, how to judge an ICO. But recently, I was in Bangalore for 2 3 months, so I interviewed a lot of people in the startup community to get a feel of how the challenges they are facing, and get a perspective of how exactly the things are in the core stuff. So people who are actually doing the things, because we can read a lot on the internet and find but we can get a lot of information. But when we talk to people who are actually building stuff and not only just evangelizing, you get to learn a lot. So I was part of some. I was working. I met a lot of CEOs in the space. I met with Springroll CEO, Vondex CEO, Verix.id CEO, a lot of CEOs of exchanges like CoinSecure, UnoCoin, BitExo, and all that. Yeah, and I have even been talking to some people in the Silicon Valley and San Francisco, that area, and I have interviewed 1 2 guys as well there as well. So yeah, that is my background.
Yeah, so it's great because I guess Bangalore is one of those cities wherein you're very closely you look at these startups, how what they are building up. So I think that's been a great place. And let me just find out from people if they can hear us properly. So
Yeah.
hi everyone, if you can see us, let me know if I'm audible and if Arno is audible as well. Vijay says okay. So basically, this is a hangout session, guys. Let me know if you can hear me and you can see both of us. Rajkumar is here, Dinakar, Nabeen, Vijay, TS, Nitin DVD, Sarfaraz, Robert, Anita, Rock Raz, Vijay. So let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, can you? Yes, we can. It is clear. Thank you so much, Robert. So you can hear me as well, and as well as Arno. Is that right?
Okay. Yeah, Robert said it is clear.
Yes, Dinaka says yes, we are able to hear you. Right. So, guys, Arnav has been into the space for quite some time. He has been working closely with a lot of startups in India, and also has been reading a lot of white papers when it comes to ICOs. And so he has a lot of insights that he can share with us. You can always go ahead and learn more on his channels that he keeps putting his a lot of content on the channel about what are the different stuff, for example, Ethereum, how to build an ICO and things like that. He has been interviewing a lot of people in the space, so a lot of insights on that, and he would love to share. And of course, if you have questions, put this in the chat box. I will take those questions. And Yeah, so I can see many questions here. uh,
Yeah,
okay.
I am also able to access the chat.
Cool. So Anu, share your where do you want to start? So share your now. So considering the tech startups, right? There are so many tech startups right now, and the ICO craze is going on as well. I know that not all the ICOs are like as legit or are going to be staying in next 2 or 3 years. I mean, it's like a bubble. This is something that I think even you would agree to, that anybody is coming
Yeah.
up with an ICO and raising funds. But have you been able to spot a couple of good ICOs, and what's your general view on ICOs and things like that?
Yeah. Got it. Okay. So yeah, that's true. So I get messages from people who are like, sometimes they tell me, okay, so we have this idea. Can we do an ICO for this? Or maybe someone once called me and they were like, we are in the HR space. We make bots and we want to do an ICO. Just tell me the idea as well. Uh, we'll just fund the whole thing. We'll market the thing, and yeah. So obviously this shows that we are in an ICO bubble. There are some good projects as well that are coming out, and from India, I haven't seen a lot of great projects, to be honest. Like people who are working in the protocol level stuff. There are a lot of projects in like Singapore or Eastern European countries or in Silicon Valley working on the core blockchain stuff. In India, there are like some big ICOs. Wondix was one. I think they did. I interviewed the CEO, and so they are working on a product which is on live and all that stuff. So I think that they hit goals that they promised to be. Then in India, there's Spring Roll. So Spring Roll is a, sort of a decentralized LinkedIn, and they are also working on a product, and they are one of those ICOs which are Indian ICOs which are backed by very big names in the Silicon Valley, and they are very close to the product and not the ICO itself. So that is another good project that one should look out for. Other projects, there are a lot of ICOs now that are coming in the 2 3 months after maybe March or April time. You'll see a lot of new ICOs coming because first of all there will be a lot of clarity regarding regulations. Then second of all would be the taxation policy. So many institutions are waiting for the next fiscal year start so that they can put the money into crypto so that the taxations become more clear. So there are going to be a lot of ICOs that are going to come out. And yeah, and even in like what might happen is that the ICO market might, the marketing cost is going to go up quite a lot. So we would see a lot of big ICOs, like big companies doing ICOs, and only I think those would be the ones which would be able to raise the amount of money like 100 million or 200 million, because there will be a lot of noise. And it would sort of become like is the case with Kickstarter or Indiegogo, in which only crowdsourcing platforms, only certain amount of projects actually get funded, and that number is very low. So I think that is what is going to happen. But obviously, every good reveal will raise the money that they need to build the product out. Yeah. So and in what I saw was like in India, most there so many people are associated with a lot of ICOs in India, but most of the people are actually in the services space. They are not in the product. So we don't see a lot of people who are the CEOs of the ICO, the company, but we see a lot of people who are in the advising position, or maybe they are handling technology or something like that. So that is what I observed. There are a lot of services based companies like ICO consultancy, blockchain consultancy, product consultancy. There are a lot of companies there as well, but yeah, I think we are lacking behind in that area still.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think the consultancy, more important than the consultancy, is to have a viable product. I mean, you can have a consultancy as to how to go about an ICO, how to market an ICO, how to raise funds, but at the end of the day, the entire goal of the ICO is to build a viable product. And doesn't matter how big the company is. In fact, what I feel is bigger the company, bigger the bubble.
yeah,
Because when you have a brand name associated with an ICO, then people would not even think twice. They say, "Oh my God, this company is raising money. There has to be something really important that they are building up. Let me just throw all my money into this brand."
yeah,
And what if they are not building something legit, and then everyone's money goes for toss, and then that might just cause a crash. So that's another fear that I have into the ICO field. I keep repeating this statement that all the ICOs are not here to stay. Very important that you understand where you're putting money in. So
yeah.
yeah,
Is my video clear? I think people are saying that my video is lagging a bit.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have some questions as well here. So Ajay says, can you guys talk about solidity and REN? So this is something that you would know about solidity and REN.
Okay. I know about Solidity. I haven't heard about Rain actually.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. What is it? A blockchain platform? What is it? I know about Viper that Ethereum is building, which is a
Hmm.
new contract language. Yeah. Like Nabin has this question about opinion about ERC20 token. Um, what exact actually mean of this token? I think we can answer his question.
Yeah, yeah, please.
Okay, so Nabin, ERC20 is actually a format that Ethereum has. So basically, Ethereum's blockchain, what you do is you create a smart contract. You write some code, which is a smart contract, and you deploy that on Ethereum's blockchain. And what happened was when people were launching their so many tokens, there wasn't a fixed format. And like when say I have a token, I create my own smart contract. I want to get it listed on the exchange. Then I would need to tell the exchange guys, okay, so these are the features that my token has, and these are some functions. So what the Ethereum team did were they created some basic functionality that uh, that constitute a standard known as ERC20. And whenever you have those functions, like I actually made a video on what is an ERC20 token, so you can check that out as well. But so what exactly happens is like you need to have six functions that are to be present, and some other two, three methods in the contract, and that make it an ERC20 contract. And that what that enables is a lot of easy process in getting listed on exchanges, and maybe even like token to token interaction. Say I have a token called Arnav, Shiv has called INCHAINED, Shiv has a token called Crypto Conversation. Now if we want to like our tokens to interact, like I pay, like my users can pay Shiv or something like that, so that would be like interaction would be made more feasible, and it would be better if we have a format. So that is what is actually an ERC20 format. And there is, you can check out actually, just I think Google ERC20 format, you would find the Ethereum official page. You would find the five six functions and features that make something an ERC20 token. Yeah.
So, so how long does it take for an individual to create an ERC20 token on Ethereum?
It's very simple actually. Or like you can, all the code is present.
Right.
You can even talk about yeah, all the code is actually present on. You just need to Google actually. Just you would find a lot of code on GitHub. So yeah, I think Ajay has told. Okay, so EOS Ren is the language deployed
Kind
by
of.
EOS.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So to be honest, I don't have a lot of experience on EOS. I know what they are building, and I have an higher level overview. But since I think they haven't launched on the mainnet their
Not yet.
platform,
They are
so
launching it in the month of June.
okay, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but
I don't have a lot of knowledge about EOS, but I can talk about EOS versus Ethereum and all that stuff. So, yeah, EOS. I think Shiv can also talk a lot better because Shiv is an EOS fan, and yeah,
yeah, so I'm correct. So I think I'm yours fan for the reasons being there are a lot of limitations that Ethereum had, which EOS is trying to solve, right? And in terms of writing the language in which you can write codes and many more stuff. But let's go back to ERC20 token once again, right?
yeah,
Because the reason I want to go back there is because I mean, we should know what ERC20 token is and how easy it is to create. I mean, for example, let's say you want to raise an ICO tomorrow, right?
yeah,
And you want to build a white paper, you want to build a website, and you and the naturally the first token that you want to give out is ERC20 token. And so basically you program that okay, for so many Ethereums, I give out 200 ERC20 token, or maybe 500 ERC20 token, right? So this can be this code can be written on the smart contract, right, on the Ethereum, right? And so the reason I want to focus more on this from you, Arnav, that I want you to let everyone know that when it comes to raising an ICO on Ethereum, how easy is that?
it's actually very easy. You just what you need to do is you need to create the smart contract, and you need to deploy it on the Ethereum blockchain. You would need a bit, like if you're not a technical person, I don't think so. It would be very difficult. Like
No,
there,
for technical person. For
yeah,
technical person. So for example, there is a team.
yeah,
They have some idea. They want to raise funds, right?
yeah. Got it.
How much time does it take to have an ICO?
It doesn't take a lot of time. You just need to read the guides, basic guides you would find on the internet, and you would need like so like 3-4 pages of worth of guides at max, and you can just go through them and learn how to deploy a contract on Ethereum. You need to buy some Ethereum actually, because when you deploy the contract, it costs about transaction fees. So yeah, you would just need to learn a bit of Solidity. You need to have a hang of Solidity and how the code works, but it is actually very simple. So yeah, then you write the smart contract. Maybe you can even find the format on various GitHub channels, like look for Open Zeppelin. So they have a lot of smart contract like formats, and after you can copy their code, download their repository, and then deploy that to the network, to the Ethereum network. And after that, when you deploy that, you would get a address for the smart contract, and you would need to give that address out to the people that, okay, send your Ethereum there to this address, and you'll they will get the token. So it's as simple as that. But it might be like you just need to read the docs and everything. If you are JavaScript and these languages, it won't be much of a challenge, I think.
So basically, when you create that contract address, all that collection, the fund collection that happens on one particular address, and the person who is raising the ICOs have access to those funds on that address. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So they are the contract creators, so they have the access to that address. But after you, like, it depends again, how do you program the smart contract. Like, the contract creator can, like, there are various functionalities that you can add to that. Yeah.
So Ethereum address can also be put in the Ether scan, and can also be find out as to how much of collection of Ethereum has been done on that address. Is that possible?
Yeah. So after the people like invest in the ICO, they want to see that how much money the others put, who got the money out. You can just, so what you there's this Ether has this product called Ether Scan. I think it
Right.
is by consensus.
Right.
So you get an address of the smart contract, and you copy and paste that, and you can see actually, like, whoever has, who like in the contract itself, like who has how much amount of tokens, which address has how much amount of tokens, and yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's take some question. There is interesting question. Amit says, "Hi Amit." Amit says, "Your opinion on Neo versus Ethereum." So this is interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So I think Ethereum is like miles ahead of everyone right now. So what people don't understand, don't actually factor in, is the community that Ethereum has managed to garner. And I personally, like, if you are a developer, you would know that, because when you start actually developing, you need a lot of tools. For beginners to get into start developing, you would need a lot of tools, and like, beginners can't go and do the protocol level coding. So Ethereum has managed that, is out of that process to an extent right now. And they have a lot of tools now. They have basic, like, they have Etherscan, so many great products that exist, MetaMask and all that. So that is something that people don't actually consider in. And if you check out like Reddit communities and Gitter communities, you would find so many Ethereum developers working already. So I think Ethereum is now miles ahead. It's between maybe EOS or Neo or something like that to join Ethereum. And Neo is, yeah, I think they are also trying to build the community right now. And at the current moment, I don't think so Neo can compete with Ethereum. But again, it's not like the race is over forever. And if Neo is actually doing a lot of developer conferences, I think in
Yeah.
Singapore and
Yeah.
in all that
San
regions. So
Francisco.
yeah. So they are building the developer community, and they are trying to like make these tools and all that. So yeah, I think only time would tell how things pan out. And because I'm not part of the Neo team or team core team, so I can't say. But what we can say from outside is, like, if they are able to build that community, and if they are able to, like keep pushing on and build those tools out, then I think, yeah, Ethereum can act or Neo can actually compete with Ethereum.
So Ajay says Solidity have a major security flaw. like unit data type, which is recently found out. I mean, it's very easy to increase infinity total supply
Yeah,
in
I
is in Ethereum. So is this the flaw in Ethereum? Is that
no, no,
right?
no, no, no. I think uh, okay. So I didn't follow this one actually, but I think it's something like increase infinite total supply. No, I think it's for can you Ajay? Can you talk about which total supply? The token total supply. What are you talking about here? Um, yeah, because like you can't increase the Ethereum supply. That's for sure. Ethereum's if it moves to Casper of proof of stake, then the Ethereum tokens would actually be deflationary, and the supply would might the core team has a plan that they would burn the Casper protocol, the tokens after a certain amount of time. So the supply would increase. But yeah, obviously, Ethereum doesn't have a cap, as is the case with Bitcoin. That is
Correct.
over 21 million Bitcoin.
Right.
So yeah, I didn't actually follow this one. Mm, yeah.
So in
So
coin market cap, there is a token called ERC20, which is probably index token, and I'm asking about that one. Please check. So what is index token? I think that's what he's referring to. It's ERC20 token, right? So index is, I can, it's a word that comes from stock market.
index is usually it's a sort of people create index funds.
Correct.
They are like basically hedge funds. I think index funds are like in which like I have seen some index funds. So what they do is they invest, they maintain a portfolio. So like they use AI and all that stuff. They use that to maintain a portfolio of coins like 30% Ethereum, 20% Bitcoin, by seeing how the market is behaving, how the
Mhm.
price is going, buying and selling, how the news is shaping up. And they create a portfolio, and if you are part of that index, like you become part of a mining pool or something, then you actually get rewarded accordingly. And maybe say I put in $1 million, and the whole index value at the time, the fund value was 100 million, and the value of the fund became 150 million. The value of my investment would become 1.5 million. So that is what is an index fund.
Mhm.
um, yeah. um, yeah, and Ajay, I recommend you to check out actually Ether Party. So Ether Party has something called has features to create templates for businesses. It's sort of like a smart contract creator. And even check out Confi Deal. I'll just write it down for Ajay. Ether Party. I think they were Ether Party is still in testing. They had a beta out, but you should keep an eye on them. Um, and Confideal. Confideal is part of, I think, Ethereum Enterprise Alliance as well.
Right.
So
So there was a question here that Gunanand says, please review on nebulas. Have you been reading about nebulas by any chance?
no, I didn't read about this. Did you read about it?
So I think Nebula is
I think
claiming
you
to
reviewed
be.
it.
No, I didn't review, but I
Okay.
think I read a little bit about nebulas.
Okay.
I think they're trying to be Google on blockchain.
Okay. Something like BitClave, I think, if you have
Yeah.
like a
So
search.
like a search engine, something like that. So
Okay. Okay.
not been reading much about that.
Got it. Got it. And like someone asked future of Ripple, I think you can talk about it.
Which one? Ripple?
Future of Ripple. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm afraid it won't come nice. So Ripple is something that if you have been following, right? So I know you will know. I think I'm somebody who's not been very somebody who believes in Ripple, right? For the reason being that it's a centralized currency, and I mean most of the stake is held by one person, who by the way turned to be the billionaire, yeah, in the Forbes list, you know
Yeah.
so everyone has made this guy a billionaire with so I mean so once if people understand that Ripple is basically a centralized cryptocurrency or whatever you call, and as long as you know that it's a centralized, it's not a decentralized, and that was the whole idea of blockchain. And if you know as far as that, and you're still there, I mean, just to have a good growth or investment, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, so there's nothing wrong in buying Ripple and making money. So I completely support that.
Yeah,
It's just that I'm not somebody who likes to hold Ripple, but it's not that I'm against somebody who is supporting it.
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
like Srikar is asking about Singularity Net. So I would like to talk about it.
yeah.
So yeah, Singularity Net, I like the project actually. So I like I just like the project. I like the team and all that. And I think the Sophia is the humanoid robot that they're building. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on Singularity Net. I read a bit about it, but I haven't like gotten really deep technically. But all the signs were positive.
So they
So
built the human robot Sophia, right? Recently,
yeah,
correct?
yeah,
So what are their long term objective as to what are they building up? I mean, what is the product? What is the idea?
yeah. Like their goal is like. So basically, the thing is, it's like a very far-fetched idea. I think so. It's like if we can optimize our lives and maybe do only a certain amount of work these ideas which are like space research and all that stuff. What these guys are trying to do is like many projects are trying to can train these models to basically improve our lives so that we only work on only problems that we only work for a very little amount of time. We can optimize our lives, spend later time with our family and friends and all that stuff. So and enabling that token economy and all that stuff, I think that is what they are using the blockchain and all that stuff. But again, I won't want to comment very deep on it because I haven't gotten very deep technically. But I was talking to some of my friends in consensus and all that, so they were about it. Yeah.
Dinakar says Singularity.net is from Hansen's robots, and Sophia got a passport from UAE,
Yeah,
I guess.
Hanson Roberts. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
She got a passport
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So yeah, sorry,
What
you have
do you want to talk about the Casper and POS?
no, it's you who will talk about this. So if you will have
Okay.
more information on this.
Okay, so yeah, I like the Casper and POS, but again, the thing with Ethereum that has happened right now is Ethereum is has built a community and has a lot of people, but when you like are like 2 3 years in a project, it's very difficult to change very easily. And Casper and POS are like and sharding and whatever these technical things that these guys are working on. So they are trying to solve the scalability and solving the mining problem like we have with Bitcoin, that Bitcoin is not ASIC resistant. But again, there are a lot of challenges with Casper. So with Casper, what we have is like we have a minimum ether amount that you need to have in order to participate in the consensus, in the like the verifying, the people who verify all the transactions. And this was, I think, 750 ether or 1000 ether or something. So it might lead to again a lot of centralization in consensus because I don't think so. With the current ether price, a normal person can own 1000 ether. Only certain amount of people would own 1000 ether, which is like I think $700
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
price of one ether. So it's quite a lot of amount. So or $900, whatever it is. So that is the thing with Casper, and that is why I think we have spaces for EOS and so many other blockchain platforms that solve a specific business use case. Because Ethereum is going to be this sort of general blockchain app platform, but there might be some blockchain platforms like which solve a specific business use case. But again, the challenges with them like would be the tools and all that stuff because yeah, so these are some positives and negatives that are going to happen with Ethereum in the future. So Ethereum has this community, but so it started with POW and it is now going to POS, and it had something in mind initially. And so but it can't change that quickly now. But if we see, if we start a brand new idea and we see what are the challenges with Ethereum and what has happened with Ethereum, then that is a good idea, but it is difficult to get the community around it and build the tools out. So yeah, that is the thing. I think EOS is more scalable dApp platform, and they have a very focused approach towards that. So yeah, that is how I think that is why the space is still open to an extent, because of the fact that Ethereum has a lot of challenges. Like Ethereum's scalability is laughable right now, like, and people talk about Vitalik talked about Ethereum going to compete with Visa has, I think, 70,000 transactions per second they can do at max, and Ethereum is doing like 15 or 20. So people are Vitalik was saying we'll beat Visa, but it is very far. Like I don't know how they are going to do it, because yeah, you would need something else. You would need a lot of new innovations in Ethereum to achieve that.
Yeah, so so Kevin says, "How about yours then?" And yeah, his question is bang on right time. How about yours then? Yeah, so Kevin, I think
Yeah,
that's what the solution is, and that is why there is so much of excitement about yours. That yours is what this is what all the limitations that's coming out from Ethereum is what yours trying to build, and fortunately they have been able to build a very strong community over the last 1 year. They have been holding a lot of conferences across the globe as well. So I hope that yours will launch and will solve these real, real life problems.
yeah,
But
yeah.
hopefully,
Uh,
I still think there is a space for Ethereum as well. It's not that Ethereum is going completely away, and then yours. I think only time can tell once
yeah.
yours is out, and then probably we'll see how it goes. Because considering the upgrades that Ethereum has, I'm pretty much positive on Ethereum as well.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing with yours is like yours did a very long ICO, so they raised, I think, I don't know, $1 billion or something. I read somewhere that they raised a lot of money, so they need to deliver, man. They can't you raise 1 billion on no working product, just conferences and hype, and but they have a lot of big names and reputed names associated with them who probably are not going, who are really committed for the project. So yeah, let's see how things work out.
Mm.
Yeah.
So Ajay says, as per my understanding, the idea of Singularity Net is to help AI development, like provide data as they are using.
Okay. Yeah. Do you talk about why you don't do trading tips?
Oh, is there a question?
Revant Vemula talks about why don't any videos on bidding, both basic trading
Basic
tips.
trading tips. Well, I think it's very difficult to be trading into cryptocurrencies, and this is something that I've not been doing because see, trading at times you can burn yourself completely, right?
Yeah,
And you should only talk about it if you are very expert, and if you think that if you're giving these tips, it's going to help people and not burn them. So I think it's a lot of risk when you give somebody a tips, especially a trading tips, right? Because imagine for the people who bought Bitcoin right now at about 19,000, 18,000 just a month back,
yeah,
and if you would have given them some trading tip and Bitcoin lost about 70% of its value, right?
yeah,
So I think trading is according to me, right? And that's what I don't do. So I won't want to talk about something that I don't do, correct? I would
yeah,
only talk about something that I do. And of course, there are other experts who do trading and who do advise, and you should follow them, of course, if you can. But in my opinion, I think trading it's some. I would rather like to spot some long-term project, technological project, and hold them, forever
mm,
until the
yeah,
time they grow. And that's how I think you will make more money. I'll make more money there by holding it instead of trading it, which is also a kind of stress because
yeah.
we are
And the
24.
yeah, yeah. I think I was just talking. The crypto market is 24/7. So I personally tried proper trading for a week or two, and I was like crazy. I became crazy, man. I was not able to do it, and I think so. I know people who manage funds and all that, and they themselves told me that there is no money in trading. Like if you want to do trading and do it properly, have a lot of deep connections, do use proper bots and all that stuff. But yeah, if you, but for crypto you need, the better thing is to hodl basically,
Yeah.
and research good projects which have great teams, great maybe a prototype and a working product, and then just buy it them at the ICO level. If you buy at the ICO, there is a chance that the project would go 100x or 50x or something like that. So that is the best thing in crypto, in my opinion.
So Sanjay says, please give your opinion on APPC. Have you been reading about APPC by any chance?
I heard about it, but not. It was. I think they were. So I read it somewhere that it was for app developers. Basically, it was. I read it a long time back, 2 months back or something. So I think they were building a platform, a system, a blockchain based system in which everything is open for developers, app developers, and all those developers. All the regulations and laws are very clearly written, and when people publish the developers would publish that to their platform, their apps and all that to their platform. And so their value proposition was like, yeah, we would be, everything would be open and all that stuff. And the trouble currently that supposedly developers face is that Google or Apple sometimes they just remove the apps without telling them, like without
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there is a censorship.
like because yeah, I didn't get you.
Yeah, so I think esports says, yeah, true, hodl is better than trade.
Yeah.
Welcome, esports. How are you?
Mm,
Shrika says maybe Ethereum has the first mover advantage and so will be successful in the long term, in spite of some problem. Any thoughts? I think
yeah.
that's quite. I mean, that's true to a certain extent. But if there are better platforms which are more user friendly, which are scalable, then I think people will move on to those platforms. So let me ask you this, Arnav. So people who are raising funds on Ethereum blockchain right now, okay, they have their infrastructure is basically built on Ethereum, correct?
Yeah.
So in future, if they find Ethereum is not scalable,
Yeah.
is it possible for them to move that to another blockchain?
Yeah,
So
it again depends. Yeah, so they can move it. Like so, like I was talking to a blockchain and an ICO project, like a CEO, and he was like, okay, we would we would consider EOS and Blockstack. So Blockstack is another project that is in the space. So like say if you are building a decentralized social network, then what you would need to do in such a case, you would need to download all the data and put it on the other blockchain. But again, what's the point? Like who, how do you ensure proper decentralization in that manner? Like if say you have a system in which, like if I created say a CryptoKitties game on Ethereum. So what the beauty of CryptoKitties was that I had a smart contract in which everything was written down, all the CryptoKitties that were coming out were written down. I, the myself, the company owner, after the contract is put, can't do anything. So that is the beauty of CryptoKitties. Now if I say I am able to move to another blockchain, um, I don't know, that doesn't make any sense. Like that removes the decentralization aspect to a certain extent. How do you, say I created a CryptoKitties game, how do I move the code and all the user data to another blockchain system? It is not possible to do that in a proper decentralized manner.
hmm,
And you can do it, maybe say if I was running a Facebook centralized company, I might move my data, I have the access to my data, all the data is mine. I can move from maybe a MySQL database or to a NoSQL database and users would mind. But in this case, everyone is part of the community, and actually even the owners can't say that we are the owner of this game.
correct.
When the contract is put, it is just put out there. But again, I think people are working on some solutions that enable blockchain to blockchain communication. Like I forgot the name of the projects, but there are some people who are trying to enable different communication between different blockchains, like
So I think
Ethereum.
Qtum is one of them. Qtum
uh,
and even
yeah.
Icon is one.
No, no, Icon is, I think Icon is just Ethereum of Korea,
Mhm, mhm,
basically.
mhm.
And Qtum, I have not heard about that platform. I think it was something in atomic swaps or something like that. Those are some projects that are working in this space. But again, yeah, I won't want to comment 100% on this. But yeah, to answer the question regarding how do you move to different blockchains, so yeah, it is not possible right now, I think, to move it in a proper decentralized manner. You can move it like you can create another you can create a different application on another blockchain, and maybe users might migrate, but I don't see actually a proper system of that currently.
So Senthil has a question. He says, I'm asking my question again. What do you think about Stack STK? They are trying to build an operating system over blockchain. Heard
Haven't
of
read
it?
about it.
No? Okay.
Oh,
Polka dot Charles is working on it. Esports is Charles is, yeah, Charles Hoskins from ADA. IOHK, yeah, IOHK and ADA, they're working in the collaboration. Many projects are moving Ethereum to yours. A few days ago, I watched Dan interview. He mentioned that. Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I don't think Ethereum do yours. I think they are planning to have a strategy for both, like not completely Ethereum do yours. I don't. I think that would be foolish, to be honest.
Mhm.
But maybe like so if the guys are associated with the core EOS team, then obviously they might do it. But I don't think so. Normal uh, company would do that.
Mm, have you been
Uh,
reading anything about Electronium?
nope.
Right. That's a mobile mining thing. That's all I know.
Yeah. So can we talk about how do you see the space in India? Like how, like you have a lot of like 3,000, 4,000 subscribers, you get a lot of questions. Can you talk more about how do you see the space? How is the space regarding the trading and the knowledge that, how much knowledge do people actually have? Do you see that people getting on the train just as a bait chal, as a FOMO, basically?
Well, you're right because most people are entering this space without having any knowledge.
Yeah.
Just with the idea of that, since everybody is making money, let's me also make some money. So that's what been happening. But I'm pretty much positive. So that's a negative point of cryptocurrency market right now, right? Not understanding where you're going. The other thing is that I look at crypto in India as a very positive way because especially as to what happened recently, there were two announcements that government is actually is going to adopt blockchain technology and will regulate cryptocurrencies. That was one. And but I also at the same time I see the media not actually putting out the right words for cryptocurrencies, so creating a lot of trying to scare people that how cryptocurrencies and bitcoins are really bad and not a good thing, but overall, if you ask my perspective about cryptocurrencies in India, I think it will keep growing, especially because there are a lot of positive moves from the government. Government is so far they are supporting it, and I hope that they will continue to support it. There will be inventions happening in India, and also I think a lot of people from across the globe also have a lot of hope because India is known to be that tech hub, especially
Yeah.
Bangalore. So I think there will be a lot of innovations coming out from India as well. But at the same time, I do think that people need to be aware of where they are putting their money in. At the same time, there are a lot of scams also going on. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So
Got it.
I think what we will do is I think we will be short of lights now. Arnav.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can see you clearly. I would like to get an opinion
Yeah, but I
regarding.
think I think on the if you look at the chat now, it's getting darker.
Yeah.
So let's take maybe one more question and then probably we'll end it and we can keep doing this anytime. That's not a problem. I see people are behind. I see people behind money and not behind tech. Can anyone focus on Bitcoin private? What exactly it is on prices? What is Lightning Network? Is it currently? So why don't you make a video on Lightning Network, Arno? Because there has
Okay.
been a lot of questions. If you could, make a video and put it us on the channel, I'm sure people will love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's just watch out for the InChain channel, guys. If you have not subscribed, go ahead, click on subscribe, put that bell icon because maybe next video would be on Lightning.
So I made a video on Hashgraph with a Blog Geeks Rider. So check I'll just upload it in 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, please check that out. I think you'll learn a lot. And regarding I would just like to talk about the whole a little bit about the whole space, like
Right.
the development space. If you have time for that, I think
Sure, sure.
lighting would be fine.
Yeah,
Is fine
yeah,
over here.
yeah, yeah.
So so basically the thing is, if you are maybe say a developer, if you want to start building out, you would see when you just Google here and there, you would find some platforms. You would find Ethereum, you would find Hyperledger. These are the main two platforms. On Hyperledger you would find Hyperledger Fabric, which is the most used one, and on Ethereum you would find like normal Ethereum and Quorum, which is used by businesses. And so when you start developing for like when you just start exploring, I would actually recommend for the developers to actually first read about Bitcoin properly and understand what is blockchain, then go into what is Ethereum and how Ethereum works out, then read about smart contracts, and then start figuring out what to do, like Hyperledger or Ethereum. I think these are the two main for a normal coder. These are the two main areas that you should start out with, and I would prefer Ethereum. Hyperledger is used by businesses, so if you are not maybe if you are not very well connected, if you are not maybe in like if you're not building an ERP based system, you won't actually need Hyperledger. Hyperledger is a lot of hype in Hyperledger as well. And so I recommend to start off with actually Ethereum, because Ethereum has all the tools that are necessary to get a feel of how smart contracts and all those things actually work. And
So, mhm.
yeah, so if when you start with Ethereum, I recommend to check out some sites like stateofthedapps.com and just see what people are building currently, what are the dapps that people are building currently, and then you can explore further and read a lot of white papers. Read white papers of Truebit, of Zilliqa, of Kyber Network. Read about decentralized exchanges, because I think decentralized exchanges are going to be a lot. We are going to hear a lot in 2018. There are a lot of innovations in this space, like having a system in which the liquidity is provided by the centralized exchange, but the whole process of transaction is done through a smart contract, something like what Kyber Network is doing. So read about such projects and then attend meetups. Yeah, so that is how I actually recommend people to go.
Yeah, so Ajay says no atomic swaps. Lol. Qtum uses BTC. Yes, yeah, exactly. So I
Okay.
actually had completely forgotten. Yes. So Qtum uses Bitcoin and Ethereum technology. That's right. But there is one blockchain that I can't recall of that promises to connect different blockchains. So I don't remember which one is that.
Yeah, I actually forgot as well. I had read about it long time back. Yeah.
Yeah, so about Qtum says build decentralized application that simply work executable on mobile devices compatible with major existing blockchain ecosystem. Is that's right? Yeah, Kyber is nice. So why don't you make a video on Kyber if possible?
Yeah, I'm making one.
Because you have been reading. So
Yeah,
esports says Kyber is nice. Yes. What's your
Kyber video
opinion?
in
Was
one day, actually.
right.
Just working on it. Yeah.
So do you follow on 10x CEO on YouTube? He did a wonderful video explaining USDT's effect your views. Okay, I
No.
haven't watched that. I will just love to watch that. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, everyone, for being. Thank you so much, Arnav, for coming on the sharing your insights. Pleasure to have you.
Yeah,
And
thanks a lot, Shiv, for having me, man. Yeah, love talking to you. You are one of the few YouTubers who are actually trying to get some good content and not talk about masala content only. So yeah, great talking to you again, man.
cool. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Check out InChained. There are a lot of videos coming up on Kyber and other things. And I will see you guys soon.
Yeah.
WazirX, I'll be making some video on WazirX, guys. Okay, see you. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye, Anu.
Bye bye, man. Bye
See
bye.
you soon.
Bye.